Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. My name is Tammy Holder, and I'm standing here in the Amateur Theater, excited to invite you to a virtual performance of A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol is a traditional holiday tale based on the classic novel written by Charles Dickens. You are going to see a musical adaptation of this show where characters like Scrooge, Bob Cratchit, and Tiny Tim all sing, dance, and act their way on stage through this beloved holiday tale. Before we see the show, we're going to meet my friend Jill. Jill is a teaching artist, and she's going to talk to us about how actors become characters on stage. And we might even meet some of the characters from the show. Let's join Jill as we get ready to watch A Christmas Carol.
Thanks, Tammy. And hello, everyone, and happy holidays. My name is Jill Lustig, and I am a teaching artist at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. I'm here at the beautiful Rose Miniaci Arts Education Center, and I'm so happy to welcome you here today to a very special Plus workshop. You are about to see a show based on the classic novel Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Now, before you see my friends sing, dance, act, and entertain you, we're going to talk a little bit about how we get a novel from a book to the stage. In the biz, we like to call that taking it from the page to the stage. Novels and books of all kinds are adapted for the stage all the time. That's just one of many ways a show gets made. Les Mis, another piece of classic literature, is now, of course, a blockbuster musical. Have any of you ever read any of the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief series? Also a musical. One of my favorites, actually. Any Harry Potter fans? Any Hufflepuffs out there? Maybe a Slytherin? That, too, has been adapted for the stage in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Maybe you've heard of a little upstart musical called Hamilton the Musical. That, too, was based on a novel by Ron Chernow. Now, of course, that took Lin-Manuel's unceasing creativity to bring that from the page to the stage, or maybe to Disney+. Hashtag not an ad. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most important elements when creating a show. Taking what's on the page and putting it on the stage. And that is character development. As an actor, creating a character can be one of the most fun and exciting parts of creating a show. Characters are actually easier to develop than one might think. And that, of course, is because characters are everywhere. They're in our books, our poems, our TV shows, our movies, our plays. They are literally the people all around us. And where do we find inspiration for these characters? Everywhere. In restaurants, in malls, on the street. We are the characters that have informed writers since the beginning of time. For example, if I asked you to act out or impersonate a Karen, you could, we all could, and that is because characters are among us. But before we dive into any character development, we're going to do the first thing that actors always do, and that is warm up. Just like athletes, singers, dancers warm up, so do actors. We use our entire bodies, and therefore it's really important to get our entire bodies moving. Our body works like a machine, so when we get our body moving, it sends signals that fire to other parts of our body and eventually to our brain, and then we are going and moving like a machine. So everyone stand up where you are. Of course, if you can't, I understand, but if you can, everyone stand up where you are. Okay, we are going to warm up and be full out. What is full out? Full out, of course, is full energy. I want energy shooting through your fingertips. So for me as a teacher, the reason I want you to warm up full out is so you know what it feels like. There's a difference between giving half energy to something and being full out. Yes, that's super important on the stage, but it's also really important for your life. So the more full out you do anything, the better your life will be. So here we go. Everybody stand all the way up. We are gonna stretch all the way to the ceiling with full energy shooting through the tips of your fingers. It can be anything, but shoot it out the tips of your fingers. Full energy, full out. And then I'm gonna have you cut that energy at your wrists. Good. And your elbows. And your shoulders. Amazing. And your head. And then you're gonna bend your knees and you're gonna roll down your spine. You're gonna bend your knees. It shouldn't hurt. You should just be hanging here relaxed. You're gonna take a deep breath in through your nose, and when you let it out, you're gonna sink further into your stretch. Good. Now you're gonna slowly roll up your spine, picturing your vertebrae stacking right on top of one another. And roll up slowly, slowly. And your head should be floating at the top of your neck. Good. And that puts us in a really important place that I want to teach you about. Very quickly, this is called actor neutral. It is where your feet are firmly pressed into the floor. They are directly under your hips, which are directly under your shoulders. And it is here where you can change your life. So for actors, we're at actor neutral. We're ready for the next step. This is an amazing life hack for anything and for everywhere. When you are nervous, upset, in a fight, need to take a beat, stand at actor neutral. Press your feet into the floor, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I promise what happens next will exponentially be changed from taking that moment in actor neutral. The next part of our warm-up is an energy exercise. So yes, this builds our energy and gets our energy levels up, but it also helps us with focus and learning levels of intensity. It's called Shake It Off or Shake It Out, and it goes like this. We count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with this hand. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with this hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with this foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with that foot. And then we go in descending order. We do 7 for everywhere, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The lower in numbers we get, the faster we get and the more intensity we have. Okay, so everyone stand up where you are. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hopefully you're good and warmed up. Now that we are properly warmed up, we are at my favorite part where I am going to teach you some character development through play. Our first exercise is called Who Am I? We don't use sets, we don't use props, and it's actually really great because we start to realize how much we already know about characters from what we've observed in the world around us. So I'm going to give you an example. You, of course, can play at home or in your classroom. Are you ready? I have a feeling you'll get this right away. Who am I? I can't use sets, I can't use dialogue or props. Who am I? If you're screaming old lady, how dare you? But you're right. I am an old lady. I guarantee you all got that. And of course, not because of my complexion, but because you see them everywhere, right? The bent over posture, the cane. Old lady. For my next trick, are you ready? Here we go. Our second round of Who Am I? I'm sure from my beauty and grace you could tell, of course, yes, a ballet dancer. That is just one of the many games or exercises we use to develop characters as actors. So I've shown you a couple of examples of Who Am I. Now what can you come up with? Pick anything, a character that you can recognize very well. Put it in your body, stand up, and act it out. Let's see what you can do. Great. There are countless games and exercises that we use to develop characters as actors. Now, before we get to our very special treat I have in store for you, I have one more exercise. And this game is called Drink the Mug. In our game, Drink the Mug, we drink the mug in character. I'm going to give you two examples of our game Drink from the Mug. First, a snob. A snob. My next example from Drink from the Mug is a marathon runner, right after they finish the race. Drink from the mug. Now that we've talked through some exercises and games, I have some very special people here. They're in the process of character development in the show that you're about to see. We are thrilled to welcome two of the leading characters from A Christmas Carol, Mrs. Cratchit and Ebenezer Scrooge himself. Welcome.
Why, hello, Jill. It's so lovely to be here. Humbug!
Actually, these characters are being portrayed by two amazing actors, Rachel and Israel. Rachel and Israel, thank you so much for joining us. I have to admit I am a little starstruck being with two of the actors from the Broward Center's A Christmas Carol. So our first question is for you, Israel. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got here today as a professional actor?
Sure, I studied theater in New York City, and after living there for quite some time, I relocated down here to Fort Lauderdale, and I have been auditioning regularly.
Rachel, what has your journey as a professional actor been like?
Well, I went to school. I went to a high school for performing arts. It's been a passion of mine my whole life, and it became my career. So you go to school, you go to college, you learn as much as you can from everybody you work with, from adults to children, and then you audition, and you go for everything.
Wow, I'm so excited to be here with you and show these students what it takes to be a working artist. Today, we've been discussing character development with these students who are about to see A Christmas Carol. Israel, can you tell us some things that you do as an actor to help your character's development?
For the role of Scrooge specifically, I watched a lot of Christmas carols, including Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol, The Muppets Christmas Carol, Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to speak with a British accent.
Rachel, how about you? How do you transform from Rachel to Mrs. Cratchit?
As an actress, I try to find the similarities between my real life and what the character is, because the more you do that, the more believable you are as an actor. You don't really want to act, you want to become.
Rachel, what is one thing you have in common with your character?
Well, Mrs. Cratchit is a mom who wants nothing but the best for her children. She wants them to be happy and healthy. And for me, I'm a mother as well, and I also work with children, and I want the same thing. I want them to be happy and healthy and good people.
And you, Israel, what do you have in common with your character? And how do you use that to create your character on stage?
I don't have all that in common with him. We are both very good singers, but I also I can be a little grumpy sometimes, so I try to channel that when I play him.
Great. So now it's time to see all of these actors' tools applied as we have a short conversation with these actors in character. Goodbye, Israel. Goodbye, Rachel, and welcome back, Ebenezer Scrooge and Mrs. Cratchit. Mrs. Cratchit, can you tell us a little bit about your day-to-day life in London with such a big family and a sick child?
Well, as you know, there's a lot going on when you have a lot of children. You've got to cook and clean and get them ready for school and learning. Plus, I have a sick child who I have to be very attentive towards. So it's very busy from the minute I wake up.
Ebenezer, thank you so much for being here. I know you are a very busy man. So I wanted to ask you, does your work make you happy? And what exactly is your work?
Oh yes, it makes me very happy. I am a professional banker, and if you would ever like to borrow $1 from me, I will only charge you $2.
Mrs. Cratchit, if you could have two things for Christmas, what would they be? They can be anything, but one of them has to be just for you.
Well, like any good mother, I just want my children to be very healthy, especially little tiny Tim. I would love to see him run around with all the other children. And I want my kids to grow up to be very successful, happy people. But for me personally, I think I'd really like a bigger kitchen to cook for everyone.
And Mr. Scrooge, same question.
Only two things for Christmas, humbug. But if I only had to choose two, some peace and quiet would be nice, and a nice hot bowl of gruel.
I know you both have to run and get ready for the show. Thank you so much for coming to introduce us to your character and giving us a glimpse of what it's like to be a professional actor. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful show. Goodbye.
Have a very merry, happy holiday season. Thank you for having us. Bye.
Merry Christmas to all of you. I am a changed man now, so ho ho humbug.
And thank you for joining me to explore how a show gets made. I look forward to seeing you again here at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. Thank you so much for coming. Happy holidays and enjoy A Christmas Carol.
Thank you, Jill. I hope you all had fun exploring the show before you watch it. Teachers, be sure to check out our study guide to keep the learning going. In the study guide, you'll find activities that combine arts activities with your academic standards. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy this virtual performance of A Christmas Carol.